Howdy folks, it's Alternative and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I need to start saying the 2020 because 2024 is going to be out any day, not any day, but within a month. I forgot the exact release date, but it's soon. So I have to start distinguishing the versions, even though 2020 is not the official name, but whatever. Alright, starting another bush trip today from the latest world update. 3 of them we already did, the long German one, so now we're going to do the very short, I'm joking, 5-hour bush trip, the Alpine world of Switzerland. Same airplane as before, the NXCub, which is fine because now I really know the airplane, but not fine because I'm getting bored with it because we just flew for like 12 hours in the last bush trip, but whatever. 7 legs for this one. I think we'll split up and do 2, 1, 2, and 2, so 4 video series for this one. This first video might get kind of long because, you know, in the first video of each bush trip I'd give all the details because not everybody watches every bush trip, so the next videos won't have all this detail if you're watching them in order. Don't worry about it. Otherwise, just clicking through, I mean, they're all paved airports that are really easy to spot. So I was thinking we are going to have some like tiny grass strip mountain airports that are impossible to find, but this looks pretty easy as long as you know how to fly at high altitude, which in the NXCub, I don't even know if it's a concern. Because in some airplanes you have to really understand mixture and things in order to get up higher. But in this plane, I don't even think it matters. We'll find out soon. So, yeah, we'll figure out as we go here. I can't remember. Because other planes, you don't even need to know what you're doing sometimes. It just depends on the plane. So, there you go. That's easy. Real world weather probably is on. We'll mess with it. You know, we might have to clear up weather a lot because we want to see where we're going in a mountain trip. And with winds, we don't want to get blown around too much. So, we'll check weather once we're inside. Alright, let's see here. Let's read about this. The Alpine World of Switzerland. The Alpine World of Switzerland is the second in a series of 3 bush trips that celebrates the beauty, grandeur, and history of Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, together known as DOC, I guess. This journey weaves a path through the great mountains of the Alps of Switzerland, beginning on the shores of this world-renowned Lake Constance, where the first of this series ended. Oh yeah, I was wondering about that. This route visits spectacular peaks, beautiful glaciers, roaring rivers, and several towns and cities throughout Switzerland. The journey explores all 3 major landform regions of the country, the Jura Mountains, the Swiss Plateau, and the Swiss Alps. The bush trip ends at Austria's Innsbruck, the start of the final trip of the series. I was wondering about that because when we ended the previous bush trip, we landed in Switzerland, and then I saw the Alps in the background. I was thinking to myself, or maybe even said in the video, it was like a month and a half ago when I made that video. So, even though you're watching it like a couple days ago, I made it like a month and a half ago. Anyway, what was I thinking? I just got distracted because I noticed I'm not a full screen because my sim just updated. I'll fix that in a second. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I saw the Alps in the background. I'm like, I wonder if the next bush trip starts here and goes through there. And I was right. And then this bush trip ends at Innsbruck, which we've been to millions of times in the sim because it's a flight sim standard. And then we'll continue on. So 3 bush trips kind of make you one really long bush trip in a way, which is kind of cool. I guess that makes sense why they have the same plane now. I don't know. This bush trip was carefully tailored for the CubCrafters NXCub to maximize both flight experience and breathtaking sights. Good, because it's a high-wing aircraft. There's nothing more annoying than a bush trip with a low-wing aircraft. Weather, date, and time can be adjusted. Yep. Several other options have been unlocked. Yep. Cold and dark at each landing. Okay, so the first bush trip had issues being picky where you turned off the airplane. And I've had several people comment on the video that they had the same issues and they find it frustrating, and I agree. So I think for this, I might just turn everything off on the runway and see if that counts. Because spending an additional several hours when you add everything up together, oh well, it's only 7 legs, not 23, but like the other one's 23 legs. But you do that poking around trying to find the right parking spot, adds a lot of time to both you and me. So we might just turn these off on the runway for this and see if it counts. We'll see. We'll see. Otherwise, I'm going to make my thing full screen once we get in. Yeah, maybe I can make it full screen now. Well, I had to leave and come back, but it's full screen now. And there you go. So All right, we talked about look at the weather changed. I made a full screen and the weather changed. That's really funny. All right, so we're definitely going to have to turn weather off because we can't find the clouds in the mountains. One, it's hard to see. Two, you want to see. So anyway, talked about weather, talked about the airplane, read about it, looked at the different places we're going. So let's get started. What's taking me so long? I mean, we might not have to turn weather off in the beginning here. We'll see what happens when we get into the mountains. But this bush trip, looking at the preview screen, starts here and ends right on the side of that mountain. Right there. But the trip itself goes this way, all around Switzerland, but our final thing at the final leg is like right there, Innsbruck, right there in the valley. Anyway, I think this is sunrise. We'll find out once we get in the airplane. Yeah, because that's west. Yeah, east. East is this way, so yes, sunrise. Okay, anyway, looking good, very smooth. Do I have to play your traffic turned off? I think I still have it turned off from the Germany trip because there's just too many people at the big airports. I should have turned it back on. I should have turned it back on because there aren't going to be many people here, but I forgot. That's okay. All right, just looking around, gaining our bearings. Like I said, I ended here in the Germany trip about a month or so ago at the time I record this. By the time you watch this, though, my timeline is all messed up because that other bush trip took me a couple weeks to put together and then spread out the videos a little bit. So I don't know when you're watching this, but anyway, I'm just trying to get my bearings, remember what we were doing. It's been a long time. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, that's right, we start this plane up. I can't remember what to do. I feel like it's been forever. I think for this purpose we just click everything on, because who really, I mean, we're not totally worried about startup for these bush trips. We just want it to get running. Whoa, I know my parking brake's engaged. I just had to push throttle. There we go. So we're going to let that do its thing. Let's put one set of flaps down and move things away out of the way on my desk because I haven't used my multi-pan in a little while, so there's stuff in front of it. And I think you can turn these on with one thing. Yep, I remember now. Yep, I remember now. Okay. Let's read about what's going on while this gets going. All right. Those of you who have never seen Bush Trip with me before, which this could be a lot of you because I'm getting a lot of subscribers again in big rows, which is fantastic, but that also means you've never seen me do the previous 53 bush trips or whatever it's been, so you don't know how this works necessarily. So the way this works, and sorry for those of you who watch every single trip and sit through this speech or lecture every single start of every single bush trip, the way this works is, depending on the leg and how long it is, we'll read about stuff, 1, 2, 3 things at a time, just depends. And then we fly, and then when we get there, we'll read about the next couple things, and it flies, and the next couple things, and it flies, and so on and so on. And in between, we do what I call sightseeing, which means I stop talking, and I do sightseeing shots of the area, but I cut it down, so you're not sitting through 30 minutes of a leg. And then you don't miss anything, though. I keep everything in the scenery, or in the sightseeing. You don't miss any of it. But it's reduced for you. So if there's 5-6 hour bush trip, then it only takes 3 hours total of all the videos to watch it or something. So it works pretty slick. It's been working slick for 4 years now. So that's how that works. As far as navigation, it just depends on the airplane, the bush trip, and how I'm feeling and what the sim does. So in this case, we have GPS in the map. So we'll literally just set autopilot to GPS and let it do its thing because we can. I have nothing to prove to anybody. Because if this is going to have the same bug as the last bush trip, if we go to the next leg without leaving the sim, we lose all this, and then we have to navigate by hand. Sometimes the POIs or points of interest or waypoints are still in the sim, and then we just use heading bug to go to them. Other times they're not, and we actually use this stuff here, which is, if you've been with me for a while, this is pretty standard stuff. You point that way for that long, and you look for this, and you do the next thing. So again, nothing to prove to anybody. I've navigated every possible way in every possible aircraft over the years. So whenever there's GPS and autopilot, we just use it, right? Making use of the tools available to us, and then makes it, then I can have different kind of content, because if I'm in the plane manually navigating, the videos get longer because I talk more and talk through what I'm doing. But in this case, we're just going to set it and forget it. Easier videos for you to watch and consume. So there you go. That's how that works. And one other thing that is also already wrong with this bush trip. The POI starts here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here it starts user waypoint 0, 0. So it's already off by 1. So 1 is actually 0. So when we get to like POI 23, a future leg, it's going to be 22 on here. That's just because they're using logic numbers. When you do things in logic, like computer programming, 1 is actually 0, which throws off my technicians in my real life job. They'll be like, there's 33 devices. I'm like, there's 34 because it starts with 0 because it's logic. So anyway, most of you watching probably know more about that than I do actually, given my audience. But anyway, that's why they're going to be off by 1. So that's how this works. There you go. Alrighty, so let's read about a few things here. We'll decide. I'm actually going to take advantage of this being screwed up, so it expands for me. There we go. Because what used to happen is if you would close them, they would stay closed for you, which was wonderful, because then you could leave and come back and see where you left off. But now they open up ever since like the 5th bush trip years ago. Alrighty, 4 minutes away from where we are, so we're here. 4 minutes away is there. After lifting off from the airport, visually pick up Highway 1 and follow it southwest to the town of St. Gallen, home of the Abbey of St. Gallen, located just south of the highway. Originally founded in 719, the Catholic monastery is today recognized as a World Heritage Site by the United Nations. And most of the time, I want to say all the time, you know what you're supposed to look for, because the handmade objects that are POIs, points of interest, stick out like a sore thumb. The Autogen has like perfect skin rendering, but all the handmade objects are always brighter. And I don't understand why that is. Why can't they put a skin or filter or something on it to have a blend in? You can even see in this image, see how it sticks out like a sore thumb? See that? I mean, of course the materials are different than these buildings, but see how bright it is and cartoonish it is? So that's actually a thing that I sometimes complain about. Speaking of that, Orbix asked me if I want to like do stuff with them or something, and I got to understand what they're asking me. So that's kind of cool. Just throwing that in there. That's like the 3rd company now that wants me to do stuff with them. I'm like, whoa, it took 12 years, but cool. What do I do now? And the reason I mention that is because I talk about Orbix and how like their stuff sticks out like a cartoon, but maybe it's not them, because this is, well, this could be Orbix. Most of the stuff you see in the sim like this is Orbix, actually. A lot of people don't know that. Aspero is partnered with Orbix. So anyway, sticks like a sore thumb, that's how you know. And I got contacted by Orbix if I want to do some stuff with them. Isn't that neat? Alright, so that's the first thing, the Abbey. We'll fly over that, that's only 4 minutes out. Right next to that, basically, in an airplane like this, a minute away is right next to it. We're going to look for this place, Cuban Park, a large sports stadium. And the sim will put us directly over it, because that's how this works. If I'm in control, which I could be in control, but if I'm not letting GPS do the walking, I put us next to things so you can look out the window, but the GPS will put it right over it. So we have a big church, a sports stadium, and will. Okay, follow the highway, River 3rd, which passes parallels the highway after joining the river, which originates in Toggenburg, region of Switzerland. It is a tributary to the Rhine, passed over the river to reach Will, one of the most populous cities of northeastern Switzerland. Oh, okay, and home to several cultural sites, so it's a city. Alrighty, and then, yeah, so we do one more, or else it's going to be a lot of talking because it's a long lake. Let's do one more. Turn south and follow Main Road 16, which parallels the river, into the fascinating mountain world of twirl splits of the Appelzell Alps. Okay, the town is located on a level portion of the landscape and is home to several noteworthy cultural sites, including the Church of Wattwil and the St. Mary of the Angels Monastery. Okay, so there's one object there. See how it sticks out like a sore thumb? So we're supposed to look at that. And something else, probably. So there you go, a couple things to look at, and then when we get to, well, this is POI 4, which would be 3 on here, we'll come back and talk and read the rest of this, and that's how we do the first leg. And then we'll do the second leg in this video, and then so on and so on. You can always look at the titles of the videos if you're looking for a specific leg in the series, and then you can look in the description below, or table of contents, whatever they call it now, or just click the bottom of the timeline in the video itself to jump around to different legs. So some people come to these videos specifically for help with specific legs. Alrighty, we're not going to use ATC because it breaks too often in these bush trips. So, if we even can, Oh yeah, it's an option. We're not going to though. All right. Are we going to keep weather on for right now? Let's see what the ATIS says. See if it's realistic enough to keep it on.
St. Gallen Airport information, Quebec 0400 Zulu. Wind 039er at tree. Visibility 6. Sky condition, few clouds at 2,400 feet, few clouds at 4,700.
All right, 3 knot wind. That's all I wanted. That's all I cared about. So 3 knot wind is fine. 30, it's a 36, right? So we want to do, well, 36 is perfectly perpendicular to us. So it doesn't really matter which runway we use. It does. 28 is better than 10 because 36. 28 is closer to 36. No, wait, that was 36 degrees, not 360 degrees. 36 degrees, so 10 is better. Could you take away the 0? 1 is closer to 3 than 28 is. So yeah, so you want 10. Okay, so we'll go to the, whoops, we'll go to the, well, over here, we'll burn a U-turn or whatever to get to runway 10. We'll use runway 10. Okay, so there's that. Set up autopilot. It didn't tell us any altitudes or elevations. And we're already at 1,300 feet. So let's go to 3,500. That'll be 1,200. Yeah, 3,500. That'll be 2,200 feet above ground level, which will be fine for now. Oh, that's one more thing to talk about is how we cruise, cruise altitude. Okay, so there's that. We'll use GPS on autopilot. So set my multi-panel on my desk to vertical speed when we take off. So there we go. Autopilot is set, because in this one plane you can't do vertical speed or anything until you're in the air. So I'm doing vertical speed, nothing's happening on my multi-panel. Sometimes you can set up all that on the ground, it just depends. Okay, so basically we're just going to turn around. Whoa, what's the sim doing? Okay, we're gonna, oh, look at that. We're just gonna go right there and take off. Well, that couldn't be simpler. And then once we're in the air, I'll talk about how we decide on altitude and stuff. So let's go to our favorite taxi view, takeoff, parking brake, and, whoa, not crash into stuff and not roll over. Those of you who watched the previous bush trip may remember that we rolled over at least once because I got a little bit too excited. Alrighty, so if the weather stays 3 knots and the clouds don't get too low, we could just keep real weather on the whole time, which would be fantastic. Alrighty, let's get inside. Turn on my personal volume. I can't hear a thing. Oh dear, let's watch where we're going. And we'll take off, set autopilot, and then I'll talk to you about how we decide on altitude when we have terrain. Because we haven't had a bush trip with terrain in like 5 bush trips. It's been really flat for a long time. There's rotate. Let's pop on up. Oh, this is nice when we don't have crazy wind like before. Brakes atop the wheels. Gear coming up. And how do we want to do this? Which way do we want to turn? Probably safer to turn left. I was tempted to turn right. So anyway, like I said, our destination is right on the side of those mountains when we end the bush trip, but we're taking the long way around for 5 hours. Alrighty, yep, we know, telling us what to do here. Steep turn, I know, doing that on purpose. Just getting back on track. There we go. We'll engage autopilot in a moment, and I'm realizing already I don't think 3,500 feet is going to be enough, which is totally okay. So let's trim down. The holy moly keeps trimming backwards. What's going on? Let's go this way, please. There we go. Let's do 4,500. Now let's do 5,000 feet until we get a sense of what the terrain is like. Let's engage autopilot now with GPS vertical speed 800 feet per minute. Oh, it's going to be aggressive, isn't it? To get back to that line. That's fine. As long as we don't run into that mountain. Alrighty, so how do we decide our altitude? So, depends on the mood I'm in, basically. Sometimes we'll just fly high above everything. Like if there's mountains to cross, we'll just find the highest point and fly above that, or set your altitude for 1,000 feet above that, and then just go for it. There's our first thing we're supposed to look for. See how it sticks out like a sore thumb? See? Bright pinkish red right down over your screen. Anyway, we'll figure out the altitude elevation, and then we'll fly out to. So let's say we have to fly over that. Let's say it's 12,000 feet. Then we'll just fly 13,000 feet. Or sometimes if I'm feeling up for and have the energy, we'll stay nice and low, and then we'll just go through the valleys. That's the most fun way to do it. It's just to fly low, below train level, into the valleys and everything. The downside to that is it can add a lot of time zigzagging through valleys, and it can be kind of exhausting if I'm doing a lot of bush trips. I'm checking out this downtown area. Otherwise, okay, so this is something I was talking about. See all the there's traffic in the satellite imagery too. That stopped. Anyway, otherwise sometimes we'll do a mixture, right? We'll fly low to see stuff, and then we'll fly high, and there are going to be mountains in our way, so, or clouds in our way. Because I think it was 4,200 feet for the clouds, right? That's what the ADA said. So I don't know. We need this though. We need to be 1,000 feet above terrain, and that train's about 4,000 feet. So we need to be up here, so we might have to clear up weather. Anyway, so we talked about how we choose our altitude for flying. You know, basically it depends on a few things. And we talked about everything else. So we read about the Abbey and the stadium in the town, and then another town. Yeah, this is where we're going to resume. So we're going to fly around like this. I will keep track of altitude and the weather and all that good stuff. All you have to do now is sit back for a minute or two and enjoy the sights. At some point you probably will see the clouds disappear, because I'll turn them off if they get in the way. But otherwise, I'm going to rest my voice. You enjoy some sights for a minute or two, and I'll see you in a minute. So it's interesting how we had very, low terrain way back there. Then all of a sudden, boom, we have to be careful so we don't hit anything. I'm pretty sure our airplane is going to turn here though and go down this valley. So hopefully we don't hit that mountain. If we do, I'll take control from autopilot very quickly. But that is our next waypoint anyway, just over this mountain ridge in that valley that you can't quite see yet. And that's when we'll keep reading about stuff. I just want to point out the terrain changes in case I need to take drastic sudden action and you're wondering what is going on. I bet we come back and look at that peak. I guarantee you we do at some point in this trip. Alright, going over the town, and since we can't see it out the windows because we're over it, let's check under it. There you go, under the airplane that is. There's the last thing we're supposed to look at, how we keep reading in the previous screenshot, sightseeing views. I assume you picked out the Abbey and the stadium and all that good stuff. I made sure to include it. Alrighty, while the airplane does its thing, let's read about the next greatest thing. Looks like, oh, are we going to make it? Oh, that's going to be dangerously close. I'm talking about this ridge. So instead of the valley right here, which I could do on my own, I'm going to let autopilot, oh, we overspeeding? Not really. I'm going to let autopilot take us over this ridge. Little close for comfort in real life, but close enough. Alrighty, I really do wish these would stay collapsed though. It'd be nice. Alrighty, Rapperswil, Jonah. Okay. From what will turn to the southwest, which we already did, and gain a visual on Lake Zurich, which we already can see. A narrow lake formed by the Rhine glacier. There we go, right there. After its retreat at the end of the Ice Age, follow the main road to the town of Rapperswil, Jonah, located on the northern shore of the southern aspect. So, northern shore is here, but the southern aspect? So they're going to be more... Okay. Can't see it yet. There it is right there. Okay, cool. Alrighty, so we're headed there. And then what are we going to do? We should probably keep an eye on things. Ooh, that's close. But it's fine. Fine enough. And I'm very happy we are still using world weather, by the way. Just so you know. I did not make that change yet. After that, we're going to Einselsdalen Abbey. Turn to the south and sight the peninsula that protrudes into the lake from the southern shoreline. Follow the road over the bridge, which, by the way, a couple sightseeing stops ago was an amazing bridge if you spotted it. To the peninsula, gain a visual on Etzel, a prominent mountain that is part of the Alps, but not just any Alps, the Schweizer Alps. Pass just to the east of Etzel and gain a visual on Silsea, a reservoir created by the damming of the river. Traverse the northern extremity and pass over the town and the abbey, a Studienbrook monastery that is one of the most important religious sites in Switzerland. Alrighty. Ooh, big storm up ahead though. That is definitely a storm. So we might have to turn the weather off when we get through. We'll see how it goes. The monastery is a stage on the way of St. James and some other things that I can't pronounce. There we go. So we're looking for another abbey. And should we keep reading? Let's keep reading. Why not? Because these are all close together. Make a hairpin turn and set a course. Fly toward lake again. Pass to the west and reach the town of Wallerau, located on the lake's southern shore. So in case you're wondering, this is what we're doing. See, so we're going to come here, we're going to go down here, check out the abbey, come back up to the lake, and head on that way. And then where are we headed to? Zulu, November. Yeah, so we're going to go along the lake and end up there. That's what's going on if we were wondering. And then we follow the shore over the lake, or alongside the lake. So we're going this way. We're going to check something out over here, and then we're coming back, and we're going to continue along the lake. Located on the southwestern shore is the low range of mountains formed by the Rhine. Yeah, there we go. Another city. You can reread that because they messed that up. And then we'll land at an airport, which should be pretty easy to spot. There we go. Yep, anything else I need to say or do? No. So it's just sightseeing now for the rest of this leg, which for me, this is going on 2 hours because I had to stop several times to help people. You just don't know because I cut that part out. So I'm kind of like discombobulated. We'll see how this goes. I don't know if we're going to get to this abbey. Was that the abbey or that the abbey? Hang on, I better get this right. So 4, so that's really 5 on here. No, yeah, 5. This 5 is the abbey. I don't know if we're going to get that far because it might turn us too soon, or there might be mountains in the way. We'll see. Oh, never mind. It's right here. You can see it's sticking out like a sore thumb. See? It sticks out like a cartoon. And again, a lot of this is done by Orbex. It's not the Flight Simulator people. So we'll see. Maybe I'll take Orbex up on their offer and work with them and see if I can tell them to stop making their stuff look like cartoons. I don't know. Anyway, there's the Abbey. We'll see. I mean, we're going to get closer to it. We'll see how close we get to it. Then we'll come back. You'll hear my voice again when we land right over here somewhere. And until then, let's see if we can keep the weather live and not worry about the storms too much. And I'll see you in a moment. Alright, we're only 5 nautical mile legs out, and then we need to land, so let's enjoy the, I assume, tourists and resorts along this lake too, as we look out the window, I guess. And we're avoiding the storm, barely, but we're avoiding it. So we'll see if it's there for the next leg. And then we land, so we're just going to try to fly straight in. Hopefully that works out with the weather. The wind isn't too bad, so we should be able to just fly straight in. We should probably start coming down altitude. Let's see if this will let us come down, because sometimes autopilot in this plane does not descend. I don't know what elevation is. Let's say it's like 1300-ish still, so let's go down to 2000. Vertical speed, negative 1000 feet per minute. Bring back throttles a lot, partly so we don't overspeed and partly to buy us time. In fact, let's come down crazier than that, 1800 feet per minute. That'll get us down in a hurry. And then we should be able to spot the airport. It's paved. I don't see it from here, but it should be right over here somewhere. Where's it? Relevation. To the water. I don't see it yet. Let's soften our descent a little bit here. And is it going to... Oh, this is going to... Oh, it's behind the mountain. That's why. Okay, heading bug it is. Because I don't want to climb again. So let's do this. Heading bug on the GPS. Let's go around the mountain. So we'll either come around this way and land if there's room, or we'll come around and land the other way. Just depending on what we need to do here. There should be room to come around the mountain and turn left and land. Okay. What do we have for altitude? 34. Let's stay at 3000. We're getting too low. Too low to see where we're going. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's pretty. We're kind of low. Considering we don't know the area. Oh dear, yeah, we're low. Okay, let's climb. Autopilot off. There we go. So basically, well, I don't mean climb that much. That's just the trim getting screwed up in this plane. Every time you turn off autopilot, the trim is all the way back for some reason. It's a bug or something. Look at the rainbow. Boom. Anyway, when you don't know the area like this, you should probably fly higher and get an idea of where you are and what's going on. Do a flyby, do an inspection pass. Well, not necessarily an inspection pass, but in this case, but flyby. Look at the road alongside the mountain. The road in the valley, going up the mountain. But anyway, if you don't know where you're going, you probably shouldn't approach like this. It's still trimmed way back. Come on. Stop. Thank you. Alrighty. Relying on the GPS more heavily than we probably should. But here we go. Like there's a little prop on there. Alright, it says we're right by the airport. I don't see it yet. Is that really overspeeding? Oh, it is. Okay, it's warning me before overspeed. I was going to say there's no way we're overspeeding. Alright, runway. Where are you? Is that it? I don't think that's it. Let's just steer clear of this hill. I mean, it says it's right on our left, like right now. I don't see anything. Oh, there it is. Right in front of us. Okay, let's slip this thing. Think we can get in? Think we can get it in if we slip it in? Heck no. Nope. This is appropriate runway though. So let's get heading bug ready here, and we'll straighten out, and we'll use heading bug to determine the runway heading, which is like this. There we go. So now we know where the runway is. So let's do a very tight go around for a set of flaps, and then we'll keep an eye on that heading bug so we know the runway orientation. Pretty straightforward stuff. What's not straightforward is the turtle normally doesn't do go-arounds. So that's pretty impressive. If I may say so myself. I'm doing a go-around. Can you believe it? Alright, here we go. Give ourselves enough space because we're going to have a very, very, very short final again. The difference is we're going to be lower and slower. That's what the difference is going to be. But our final itself is not going to be much longer. And getting kind of low to see the runway, which is not good. Alrighty, here we go. Let's do second set of flaps. We'll just fly dirty here. And now we're going parallel to the runway, but hopefully some distance away that we have room to decide what we're doing. To the runway there, under the pitot tube. We're getting kind of low, so let's climb a little bit. We'll ride this mountain ridge so that we have time to make our decision. And here we go. A nice base leg. I'd show you the runway, but my hands are on throttles, so I can't point it out, but it's there. We're getting too low to see it full flap, even though we're going kind of fast here. And now I lost it. There, no, I didn't. Never mind. It was there the whole time. I knew that. Just don't have peripheral vision, so it's difficult. It'll come into view. See, there it is. Very short final, as promised. Very slow, which is totally okay. This runway is much longer than it looks, but I'm treating it like a bush trip in the mountains and some village dirt strip. But that's not the case. So here we go. Clear those trees. Trees are cleared. Barely any wind at all. Wow, this is a narrow runway. Put the lines between your legs and bleed off the speed. Don't land on a threshold. That's bad. And touchdown now. Oh, right at the end of the threshold. That was bad. And did the wind? What? That was weird. Okay, that was not great. Not sure what happened there, but we landed. Almost rolled it. Very strange. This is not a difficult airplane to land. That was weird. That's okay. Let's turn everything off and see if we can park here, or do we need to go somewhere else? Okay, that's good enough. Alright, leg 2, same video. Here we go. Alright, and where did it leave us? It just put us in the grass. And my controls don't work for some reason. Why are my drone controls not working? Okay, that's weird. Yeah, that's really strange. Okay. None of my keyboard is working. That's super strange. Okay, let's see where it put us on the grass. There's the rainbow we were looking at. Windsock is dead, which is fine. We'll take off on the same runway where we landed. Okay, straightforward. Let's continue. Let's hop inside and turn the airplane back on. Everything is still on, I think. I just need to give it some fuel. And there we go. Oh, we should probably change the tanks over too, since we are here. There we go. What are we looking at? That one. Yeah. We'll do repair and refuel on the next leg. Alright, let's see if we get GPS. I have a feeling it's going to be the same as the previous one, and it won't be in there, but the waypoints will be. So let's find out. Okie dokie, we're going to land at Zulu Golf, which is half an hour away again. And return to the sky and head over the lake. The north-south trending lake, which must be over here, right? So this is 9. We're actually looking for 8. There's 6, 7, 8's down here. Oh, that's the north-south lake, but so is that. So we're going to turn around and head down here. See, no GPS, so we'll use heading bug, which is fine. Not a big deal. You're not giving me my thing? Yeah, see. Okay. Heading bug, so what is that, 187? I'll change heading right now on my multi-panel to 187. I feel like I'm doing a commercial for Logitech every time I say I'm using my multi-panel. I just say that because you can't see it. Because it's on my desk, I don't have a camera on it. So, alright, heading bug, bam. South to the lake. Okay, that's only 4 minutes away. Then near that is Lake Lucerne, located to the southwest of Lake Zug, obviously right here. Pass over the narrow land bridge separating the two lakes. That's right, the little thing right there is a land bridge. Follow to the northern shore. Magenhorn, a prominent hill which stands the castle. Okay, so we'll look for a castle right there. And then we got these other things really close. Well, that one's not labeled, so it goes 9, oh, 10. It's supposed to say 10. It just doesn't. I think we can move this around, can't we? Yeah. So right after that is this and that. So we're probably just going to turn here and split the difference, or else there's a lot of zigzagging. So then we're going to look out the window and look at this thing, the stadium. I'm not going to read all that. That's a lot, but you can read it if you want to pause. Fields of Education, University of Lucerne, Teacher Sciences, Chapel Bridge Swiss Museum. That's that. So there's a university there. And then right next to that is the Chapel Bridge, mouth of the river where it meets Lake Lucerne, the Chapel Bridge. Okay, so we're going to turn and then look for the stadium, the university, and the bridge all right there. And then when we fly towards 12, we'll read about it. Yeah, so we'll come back together here somewhere and keep reading. So there you go, flaps down 1, put the plane back in the middle, and use heading bug with autopilot. What do we want our altitude to be? We did 5,000 feet before, and that wasn't too bad because it's only, what are we at? We're at 2,000 feet, so it's only 3,000 feet above ground level. So let's do 5,000 feet again, unless I feel like we're going to run into a mountain, and then we'll either climb or go around the mountain. Since I'm already using, whoops, moving microphone accident. Since we're already using heading bug to navigate this, I'll probably use, yeah, I'll just use the heading bug to make sure we stay away from the mountain. Okay, so I'm not, yeah, then we go up here, and then we'll read about this later. Still no real terrain, so we'll stay at 5,000 feet, and then I'll navigate around the mountains instead of climbing. There we go. Alrighty, where did I see we're going? To the right, and then taking off. Okay, very simple. Alright, there's that. Everything is set, not using ATC in this bush trip. We can, but not going to. We'll assume the weather is staying the same, which you should never assume. But we assume, we make some assumptions in flight sim. Depends. Otherwise, we're just going to fly out here, burn a UE, and well, I'm having a hard time going straight again. That's okay. Oh, what a cute little airplane. Cute and sporty and really light. And must be fun in real life to fly one of these. Alright. No traffic because we're the only ones who exist. All traffic is turned off. AI is turned off. Player traffic is turned off. Real life flights are turned off. And a lot of left rudder. Holy moly, which would be normal, I guess, for the torque. Yes, we're not going to take off. Why are we not taking off here? My trim all screwed up? Anyway, brakes us out, the wheels, flaps coming in. We'll fly out here just a moment until we clear everything. There we go. Alright. Autopilot, heading bug, vertical speed. Whoops, I'm on the wrong thing. We need to do vertical speed. Let's go down like 1,100 feet per minute. There we go. Alright, plane's flying itself, because why not? And we'll head out here to the water, and then we'll turn through some things, look for university, some chapels, stadium, bridges, all that good stuff. So I'm going to stop talking already, because you already know what's going on. Let's build the video, and I'll see you in a couple minutes. Alright, things are happening quickly. We need about where we're going, but I want to keep looking outside. Because it's super cool, this town. It's quite spectacular, the mountains in the background. So let's keep that in the background while we read about the next thing. Lake Sempach. Turn northwest and follow Highway 2 northwest to Lake Sempach, popular among locals during the summer months for swimming and boating. And that's right up here. Alrighty, so once we get there, we're going to turn again and follow the highway along the northeast shore to reach Digmersellen, the town known for its silk and wool weaving prior to the Industrial Revolution. And that's over here across the lake. Then after that, do we land? Almost. Then off the screen somewhere is Oftringen, a town rich in history. Archaeologists have discovered evidence of human habitation dating to the Middle Stone Age. I guess that's up there. And then is the airport next? Nope. Then there's a highway junction. Let's go over here. We got to make a sharp turn to the left. Turn to the west-southwest and fly along the length of the river, tributary to the High Rhine, the Aare Valley. Let's look outside and enjoy the sights while we're here, because that's, what we're supposed to be doing. One of the most picturesque regions in Switzerland. Okay, cool. And then we land at Grenchen Airport. Okay, cool. So I will follow the dots. I'll connect the dots. Remember doing that at school? I don't think my kids do that. I don't think they have kids do that anymore. Well, my kids are too old now, but connect the dots. And let's get our speed back going here. Connect the dots, boom, until we land at, what is it? Zulu Golf. So that's when I'll see you, is when we approach the airport. In the meantime, enjoy the sights along the way, and I will see you in a little bit. Simple as that. Yep, I'm interrupting sightseeing already because we're in the clouds and it's storming and it's raining and it looks really cool and everything. But the OAT is 2 degrees Celsius, which means we're almost freezing. And I don't think this has icing in it, because why would it? Yeah, so if this drops, then we're going to have to turn off real world weather, because I do not see icing in this plane. If this plane does have icing, you can let me know in the comments, but of course it's way too late because I probably recorded this a month ago by the time you watch it. I don't see anything about icing or not. Just do not do acrobatics. So yeah, that's where we're at. Gotta keep an eye on that, because in bush trips, it's kind of like setting it to hard mode, right? Everything you have to do yourself. Nothing is automated. And if it gets to be freezing, we will ice up. Do we have an UV peel in here? I don't see anything that could help us in terms of like icing and stuff or anything. So, yeah, I mean, goodness. Oops, got the fuel levels. Okay, just wanted to point that out because that is super important. OAT, outside air temperature, 0 degrees Celsius, it'll ice up and we'll crash. Okay, there we go. Alright, sorry for the interruption. Keep enjoying the show, and I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, coming up on our final POI of this leg, and then right off the screen is the airport. And then we'll be landing and concluding the video. Is that the runway right there, actually? No. No, that's just a road. There's airport right there. See it? So we're looking for this town here. See the thing stick out like a sore thumb again? The cartoonish looking thing? That's what we're supposed to be looking for, I guess. And then we're going to land right there. So let's get lined up the runway so we can have the world's longest final, which is fine, but long finals get boring and I get complacent. But anyway, there's the river we're supposed to be following. There's a great storm we get to go around. Mountains to the other side. And little towns among the forest and agriculture. Already lost sight of the runway. There it is. Flashing at us. Let's actually go this way a little bit more to the right. Alright, so we could get airport elevation if we were smart. And then that would help us with our approach this time. And we're landing here. And it is 1,411 feet. Whoops. So let's get 1,500 feet above that, which is like 1,900 feet. So we want to get down to 1,900 feet soon. And then we'll take over from there. So that's the plan. Finally, some beautiful, beautiful scenery. I mean, okay, so I gotta explain. So of course, you know, the beautiful scenery exists in terms of mountains and valleys and everything, but I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been totally into this bush trip yet. I know it's just the second leg, and maybe it's because it's taking me 4 hours in real life to get this far because I have to keep stopping to help people because, you know, family comes first, of course. So I keep stopping, which you don't even know when I'm stopping, but I do. So it's taken like 4 hours to get this far. And I'm only on leg 2, so maybe that's why. But I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, now this looks cool. So maybe it's just my attitude at the moment. But anyway, yeah, I was feeling kind of like blah until now. So what did I say we wanted to do? 1,500 feet above 1,400 is 3,000 or so. So let's go to 3,000 feet and let's see if this will work. Vertical speed, 1,600 feet per minute drop. Yeah, probably don't need to be that aggressive. Let's go 1,300 feet per minute drop. And get ready with the heading buggy here. Me clicking around on my multi-panel. And we'll fly straight in once we get lined up here. And looking at everything. In the meantime, below the train level, you know I love flying below train level because I think it's really cool. This is also rendered really like abnormally well. Look at that. They've come a long way. Because remember, sides of mountains used to be stretchy and awful to look at. And those days are over. Sides of mountains, well, that's a little stretchy. Probably because it hasn't rendered in yet. But when we get close to it, it'll look like this. See, that's not stretchy. Maybe a little bit there. But overall, it's pretty good. Much better than it used to be. Let's not lose sight of the runways. We get too low to the ground too soon. Because that's what's happening. Heading bug, let's start turning into the runway now. It's over here if you can't see it. Not sure what device you're watching this on. But the wind is getting insane. Okay, we're going to have a nice... So, whoops. Whoa, not that much. We're going to have a nice 7-knot crosswind, I guess. And there is our approach altitude. Holy moly. Why am I having a hard time dialing this in? That's pretty novice of me. Final views here before we come in for the landing. Runway is directly in front of us. See it right there. Boom. And just checking out the scenery before we have to focus on our landing. Beautiful. Now it's looking good. Maybe I'm finally getting into it, but maybe it's looked this good the whole time. I don't know. I feel like it's getting better as we go along, which does happen sometimes. Very nice. Alrighty, let's get lined up here. Whoops, the wind is blowing us to the left, of course. That would make sense. And yeah, we'll keep this altitude for now, and then we'll get flaps out and slow down in a little bit. Once you get a little bit closer, we don't need to slow down this early. It'll take us forever to get there. We're still, I don't know, what is that? What's the range? 3, 6, 7 nautical miles away yet? And here we go. Let's start slowing down. And we'll get flaps out in a moment. And we'll descend more in a moment. Actually, we can probably descend now, maybe. Not quite yet. I don't want this to take forever to get there. But that's the thing about long, straight approaches, is you're like, I'd hurry up and get there. But then you're like, whoops, now we're going too fast, too high, or we're too low and slow, that type of thing. This does have an instrument approach, obviously, which we're entering right now. See, it comes from here and goes there. So we could look that up and get altitudes and everything, but it's not necessary. Instead, we're just going to kill heading bug. Oh, now the trim is the other way. That's weird. That's super weird. Alrighty, here we go. Get ready to get into flap range. Wind is now 1 knot, which is great because the previous bush trip, we did keep weather on for most of it, but it was very difficult because the weather was crazy. We did have to turn it off for 1 or 2 legs. Hopefully for this one, we never need to turn it off. So far, so good. The clouds are high enough. The wind is calm enough. Hopefully it can stay that way. We will have to see. Alright, trim back more. Get ready for flaps here as we come in and land to end the second leg of the bush trip, which will end the first video of the bush trip. So make sure you subscribe so you know when the next bush trips drop, with notifications turned on, I guess. That would be helpful, right? Hit the like button so that people know we exist. I've been saying this after every video, at the end of every video, that a lot of you will watch the video right away, first set of flaps, but then people won't really need to watch it much because, bush trips, and you move on to the next one. But then people in the future might want to watch it, so if you hit the like button, it'll tell future people, oh yeah, we are still watching this video, and it'll recommend it to them. That's how people will know we exist. That's what I mean by that. Alrighty, 2 set flaps. We'll go full flap here in a minute. Although we don't need to, but I'm going to. Well, now we're dropping like a rock. My yoke is all the way back and is barely responding. What is going on? Full flap. This is really strange. I'm going to trim back super far here. A little slow. We're kind of at touchdown speed. Again, I'm landing like I'm on this tiny little... Yeah, my yoke's all the way back and I can't control my plane. Well, now my yoke worked. I gave it throttle and I got control of the throttle and my yoke. Now my yoke's perfect. Okay, that was weird. That was really strange. It wasn't responsive, and then I tapped my throttle. Ooh, that was kind of hard. I tapped my throttle, and then all of a sudden I gained control of everything. Kind of buggy, but that's okay. We landed fine. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was good. It just wasn't great. Alrighty, turn everything off, and see if we get credit without parking. Hopefully we do. There we go. Alright, I already did my outro, so I'll see you on the next one.